Jim? So, Jim, are you still there?
A voice came from nowhere. Hello?
Oh, it's only me. It's Dermot.
You don't have to tell me who you are.
No, of course not.
I wanted to know that I have a violent temper, but you have nothing to fear from me. In the flesh, you are even far prettier than you are on TV.
Oh, roll titles. Security.
Oh.
It's all rubbish. Hello, everyone. Hello. Now then, my friends. Welcome to Celebrity Big Brother's Little Breakfast. It's day 12. The time in the house is 8:01. Coming up on this morning's show, body language expert, old friend of the show, Dr. Pam Spurs here. Look at her. You're lovely. She's going to be analysing the housemates' relationships in the house and answering your questions in Ask BBLB, MTV and Channel 4's. I'm delighted to say Alex Zane's here. Very, very funny man. Getting up today, here to give us his verdict on Jimmy Savile's visit and the other celebrity shenanigans going on. And it's Preston's birthday, everyone. Wonderful stuff. So we're giving him the imaginary bumps when we speak to his bandmate Jones. But before any of that, it's time for BBLB's news and weather. Get out of here. Yesterday, 2:53. So Jimmy returned to the house to grant their wishes. But not everyone was as happy as a Cub Scout on a roller coaster. Let's take a look.
Now, the champ, his letter is for all of you. Just to raise spirits and things like that. It says here, Big Brother Pampering Hamper. All right. This voucher is redeemable through the diary room for a deluxe hamper of relaxation and pampering products.
These people don't need lotion and need other things that's going to uplift them, what they're accustomed to, what they want to, give them a little something here.
So we kind of like you to take this back, shove it where the sun don't shine, and provide us with a quantity of cigarettes and coffee.
That is almost cracked. At 4:43 p.m. yesterday, all got too much for Pete as he threatened to totter out as fast as his heels would carry him. Take a look.
I've just had enough of the whole situation. I think it's bordering on insanity.
What parts of life in the house have you enjoyed so far, Pete?
Absolutely none of it. There's a quick answer. None of it. I care about me. I don't give a how anyone feels. I just want to go. I've had enough. I want to drink 300 cups of coffee and have a good night's sleep and a bathroom that I can actually enjoy myself in.
It's just give with that guy. And at 1:23 this morning, Preston and Chantal had a highbrow intellectual debate on how to pronounce Maggot's name.
You say maggot, I say maggot.
Yeah, no. Maggot.
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 Maggot. It's got an O in it.
I know, but I can't. Maggot.
Maggot.
A maggot.
Yeah. Maggot.
Do you say salt or salt?
Salt.
What about malt?
Malt.
Maggot.
Maggot.
It went on for 5 hours. Let's call the whole thing off. In true breakfast fashion, let's take a look at this morning's weather, everyone. As you can see, Rula and Faria have both picked up a bit of a tummy bug, so expect poor air quality and perhaps some light gusts. Party girl Tracy has had one too many last night, so a hazy start, but it should be cleared up by a high-carb lunch. And following much hair flicking and overnight knee-touching, temperatures continue to soar in the general area of Preston and Chantal. That, my friends, was BBLB's Big News and Weather! And weather. Last night, Rula and George were the first to hit the hay at 12:22 a.m. Night Owl Pete was the last to go to bed at 3:45 a.m. And later today, they will nominate for the second time around. How will Rula's pants of power come into effect? We just don't know. Let's go to the house now. No, we can't, because there's not much going on there. It's just all out in the... No, nothing. It's rubbish. Stay with us. 24 years ago today, Bucks Fizz was top of the hit parade with Land of Make-Believe. Margaret Thatcher was finally found out... Oh, Mark Thatcher. Margaret Thatcher has never been to the Sahara, but Mark Thatcher was there. He was getting lost in the Sahara Desert, and a certain Samuel Dylan Murray Preston was born in Surrey. Like Liberace, Pavarotti and Gandhi, Preston soon became known by his surname alone. And we've got his Ordinary Boys bandmate James on the line right now. Hello, James.
All right, mate.
How are things? All right?
I'm fine, thank you.
I'm taking, James, you're not used to being up at this time in the morning.
It's a bit of a shock to the system.
OK. Now, listen, James, what would Preston be doing on his birthday, if he was in the outside world?
He'd probably be spending the day with his dad and his sister and his loved ones, really.
And you are one of those loved ones. What does an Ordinary Boys night out normally mean?
Well, I don't know. We only do nights out when we're on tour, really. To be completely honest, I rarely see him when I'm off tour, but what any other birthday of your mates would be, like drinking, maybe a club.
Well, what would you like to see Big Brother do for him today? What would he like as a friend of his?
Oh, he'd love a karaoke night, mate.
Really?
Yeah.
Wonder, is it? I mean, I've seen him sing. I've been to see you guys play. He's a very good singer. Does he have a guilty pleasure when it comes to singing?
Probably Take That song.
Oh, I love it. Bit of Mark Owen. I'm so cold, all alone. Before you go, what do you make of the blossoming relationship of friendship with Chantal?
It's a shock to me, but I guess he's always had girls, floating around him, and I guess he sees her as kind of like someone to have fun with, really.
Yeah, exactly. You can't help it. It's a bit of friendly fun. Listen,
Yeah.
Thank you very much, James. Good to speak to you. It's James, Ordinary Boy, everyone.
Cheers, man.
Wonderful. Later on tonight, Big Brother will be throwing Preston a Modern Rockers party. You can decide a track to play on. It's very exciting, isn't it? This is what interactivity is all about, I think. So, if you want him to pogo to this... People try to put us to death. Go on, do the windmill, Pete. Text poll A to 83188. If you want to see him have a bop to this... Text poll B to 83188, or, and I'm a child of the 80s, so a little penchant for this, if you want to see him get down to the #1 on the day he was born... Do you remember when he used to know the words to music, so he just pretended, so when your mates did, you went, and the land of make-believe. I know that one, yes. Oh, land of make-believe, isn't it nice? Remember that before the court cases? Wonderful. They all get... When Bucks Fizz got on... Lovely. Text poll C to 83188. Find out the results later on in the show. What happens if I just do this? Absolutely nothing. But first, after 11 days in the house, relationships are starting to form. But are they what they seem? Here to tell us is body language expert, relationship expert, Dr. Pam Spur. Ooh, Dr. Pam!
Hello.
Nice to see you, Pam. How things?
Nice to see you. Fantastic.
Dr. Pam, you're the relationship expert. What do you make about Preston and Chantal? Are they, aren't they, are they, aren't they?
I got to tell you, personalities, they're matched in heaven, really. They both have a huge optimistic streak. They're both really well adjusted. They're both sort of social facilitators. If you boosted Chantal's IQ by sort of 20 points, and if you gave Preston a big dose of confidence, they're both natural leaders.
OK, well, let's talk about them a bit more in a minute. Let's take a look at their story so far.
You're so much like my sister that I can just treat you like I treat my sister. Which is why I always do little things, really annoying things, like bully you a little bit, because that's what I did to my sister.
My eyes are sweating, as Pete says.
Chantal, if I didn't have a girlfriend, I'd marry you in a minute.
Oh, bless you. I'd marry you too.
Aww.
We've been sort of together a lot, but it doesn't mean that we want to be boyfriend and girlfriend or whatever, because I've already got a girlfriend anyway, and it's just not even like that.
He says there's nothing in it. I believe him. Do you believe him?
Let me tell you, he's a good boy. I mean, he's playing this very delicate balance of... His body language tells me he gives those sidelong glances to her. He has this twinkle in his eye. He touches her in a very warm way, that he does fancy her. He is attracted to her.
Right.
But he is, as I say, a good lad, and he doesn't want to overstep the balance. So he's playing a very difficult game. You know, when people meet in the workplace, they have a bit of a flirt. They may, it doesn't matter to their partner at home, because we all do that. But when you're 3 weeks, in the work, they're in their workplace for 3 weeks.
Sure.
It matters a great deal, and he's aware enough to know that he fancies her and he cannot show it too much, but his fingers do the talking.
What about her with him? Does she fancy him?
Oh, she does. All that girly stuff of putting her face down and looking up under her eyelashes, that very flirtatious
All
body
the stuff
language
I
of
never
hers.
get.
Oh, poor Dermot. So what she does is she really gives him that sort of feminine stuff, and it's that very sort of coy, you know, but she loves it. I mean,
Yeah.
she absolutely loves it. She goes all sort of soft.
That's the
and-
thing, though. Men, by definition, because, I mean, women are amazing, like criminal geniuses. Men, by definition, are rubbish, because whenever women go like that, look down and look up, that's it. We're screwed then. That's essentially, you've got us in the
Oh,
bag.
that's when. Oh, absolutely. When they give you that little head duck and then look back up under the eyelashes and under the fringe like she does, that is a big cue to you lads that she fancies you.
Oh, wow. OK, now I want to ask you about George. We've seen many different sides to the man. What is your take on George?
Okay, George has this big authoritarian streak to his personality. He wants things done his way, but he's also got a bit of the rebel in him,
Yeah.
which makes it a very interesting sort of mix. And he's used to the cut and thrust of politics, and he's trying to do the politicking thing here, and I just don't know how well it's going to work because it's like a very gossipy village in there. And people will start realizing that he's sort of playing this game of kind of divide and separate.
Yeah.
Very opposite to what he was doing with the box game yesterday, where he was sort of saying, let's all do this together, let's fight Big Brother together.
Well, like you said, it's kind of changed over the last few days. Let's take a look at the wily old fox.
He does nothing. He just sits at that kitchen waiting for somebody to throw him food.
It's like a water buffalo.
A man that spends the best part of an hour a day in front of a mirror, it is
Big enigmas.
utterly bizarre.
She's a very vulnerable person herself. She's very depressed. She was crying in bed this morning. Oh, God. She's quite paranoid.
OK, Pam. Very dangerous game or work of a genius?
Very dangerous game because they're not all thick as two short planks, and there one of them, two of them, more of them are going to cotton on that he is literally going from one to the other to, as I said, divide and conquer, because he is the most competitive person in there. Absolutely has this huge part of his
I suppose he
authoritarian
was
character.
born competitive, isn't he, if he's a politician?
Oh, absolutely. And he knows how to play the game.
But can he hide that in his body language?
His body language is really interesting because he's given away a couple of things before in the past. When he was fibbing to Michael at one point, he did the classic nose touch, which means,
Give
you know
away.
what I'm saying? It's absolute giveaway. Don't touch your nose when you're telling someone something.
Don't you worry about that. In the last few days, we've seen things grow between Farrier and Dennis. Just want to have a little look at this. Take a look.
You love me?
Oh, of course I do, Daddy.
Do you?
Anyway, and he was calling him big man the whole time.
Hello.
And then one of the Americans came up to him after about 4 weeks and goes like,
Yeah.
hey, dude.
I'm gonna sit right here.
Thank you. Oh, much better. Thanks. Oh.
Did anyone else feel a little bit uncomfortable at the end of that? I didn't like it. He's a world-famous basketball star. She's a softly spoken PA. It's a marriage made in heaven.
I'll tell you it is, Dory, because their personality profiles, if you look at his very defensive type personality, the Japanese call it shikoto, where he sort of blanks people until he
Yes.
starts letting his real self come through very, very slowly, which he's been doing. Faria is a natural analyzer, so it could be a very good, challenging relationship. What's happened, the catalyst for the change in their relationship was that day when he asked her about her selling the story, and she just spelt it out, and he saw suddenly this assertive part of her character.
Yeah.
She wasn't just a sex object to him at that point.
Sure.
So for them, there was that turning point, and now, if you notice, like when he put his arm around her, she actually clasps his hands and she draws herself to
The
him.
alarm is loving a bit of it.
Oh, she's enjoying it.
Dr. Pam Spur, everyone. Thank you so much. Dr. Pam's going to be back after the break to answer your questions and Ask BBLB. Also waiting in the wings, MTV presenter Alex Zane will see you in 3. Thanks, Pam. Oh, shut up! Shut up! Hello there. Oh, welcome back to Celebrity Big Brother's Little Breakfast. It's day 12 and the time in the house is... Time in the house, and here, actually, is 8:17. It's the same time. He's dragged himself out of bed and away from the live streaming. It's MTV presenter Alex Zane, everyone. Oh, Alex, you look lovely in the morning.
Thank you very much. I feel quite lovely.
Really do. That's a great outfit. So listen, what I want to know, Alex, we regard you as the voice of the youth when it comes to BBLB. We love having you on. What are the kids saying about the housemates this year?
The voice of the Ute?
Yeah.
They're saying that it's probably the greatest mix ever.
No, shut up, they're not, are they?
No, but I think it's fantastic. I think you've got people in there who, when they came in, they had no point of reference for each other. Like George Galloway doesn't know really who Dennis Rodman is. Dennis Rodman has no point of reference for Faria. So consequently, there was no preordained hierarchy, which is why the first week, I think, was so volatile, because they were all having to work out who was the most powerful character.
Who is the most powerful character in the house, then? Who's won?
I think the most powerful characters, it's George and Michael. George and Michael are the most powerful.
George Michael?
George Michael, yeah. I heard he's coming in tomorrow. Is that right?
Oh, that would be awesome. Guilty feet got no rhythm.
It's because on last night's show, the bit where they went head to head about the cigars was the scariest moment. You kind of wanted it to go further, because those are the two alpha males.
They're
in
your two
the house.
silverbacks right there.
Exactly.
And when they're talking about cigars as well, I mean, that's the silverback's weapon of choice.
Yeah, it was almost like they were jabbing each other with giant cigars, almost phallic cigars.
Like gladiators with bugle sticks.
To seeing who would react.
Galloway went into the house to appeal to the youth. That's his story. Do you think he's achieved that?
Do you know what he has? I think fundamentally more of the youth in the country know who George Galloway is than any other politician, probably even more than Tony Blair. The problem is he's appealing to them within a certain way, in the sense that, like when he was in the diary room, dressed in full vampire regalia, but still talking like a politician, going, I want to unify the House. And I think the only way that the youth are now going to watch politics is if you have a kind of themed Prime Minister's question time.
That'd be amazing.
So, like, if you were doing animal rights, all the politicians would be their favourite endangered species, and they'd all dress up. Tony Blair as a snow
international
leopard.
fishing rights. I've come today as the pirate Blackbeard.
Yeah.
God, that'd be amazing. What a
Gordon
great
Brown,
idea,
I'm a cod.
In an unprecedented move, Big Brother has allowed a house guest. What do you make of Jimmy Savile? You're from his neck of the woods, I believe.
He lived near me as a child. I used to see him jogging.
Where is that?
Up in Leeds. Wow. He lives in the park. I just touched my nose. I felt after Pam.
Don't touch your nose. Sorry. Pam's mortified over there.
But he did honestly live near me, and you used to see him jogging round. And I grew up watching the thing. I mean, he was like a wizard, like on TV. And I love the fact that despite he was just sitting there on that chair, and people gather round.
Yes.
Let me make your dreams come true. But even though General Fix-It hasn't been on for 10 years now, and the concept of the show that he hosted was to make dreams come true, it's brilliant that he can walk into a house as Jimmy Savile, not as the show General Fix-It, but Jimmy Savile, and people still believe he can make their dreams come true.
Well, if you were going to write to him now, what would it be?
Having watched him in the house yesterday, I'm going to go for world peace.
You think he's capable of that? It's a great thing.
Drop him into war zones around the world, let him regale them with his anecdotes. Half an hour later, they'll have forgotten why they were fighting.
And I bet you there'll be someone in every war zone in the world that would recognise him.
Yeah. Why were we fighting? I don't know, but I do know why Paperback Writer was written.
Maggot jokingly said he was in there to make up the numbers, but it seems the whole experience has affected him more than he thought. Did you see him in tears last night?
I did, yeah.
It's tricky, isn't it? Because you must have met Gold-Looking Chain as well and interviewed them. And the thing is that when you meet them, there's that kind of facade there, and now we're seeing a whole different side to it.
It's, as I'm sure you know, interviewing Gold-Looking Chain is like listening to a conversation while desperately trying to herd them into some kind of opinion on what you actually asked in the first place. But because they're so cartoony, and because Maggot, he's called Maggot, he wears the tracksuit.
He's a real iconic member of the band as well, isn't he? He's like... I mean, he doesn't look like, but he's kind of like Pug from the Backstreet Kids. You always go, it's the tall, funny one at the back.
Yeah, and it's nice that he's been humanised now. He's not just a guy who sings about the fact that guns don't kill people, rappers do. He's got emotion and he's crying. I did like the idea that Eggsy said it's because he was thinking about Stuart Little.
Yes, absolutely. Eggsy almost said he might have had a picture of Stuart with him, and every time he has a quick look at that, then it sets him off. Alex, thank you very much. But it's now time for Ask BBLB. In honour of the Big Brother Weekend Visitor, everyone, it's a Dermal Fix-It special. Thank you, young man. Right, OK. Alex, you have to sort of mark me on my Leeds accent as well, all right?
All right.
Dr. Pam, great to have you with us as well. Now then, we had a text we did have from Craig in West London. He asks, Dear Dermot, I really like Pete's honesty. But is it ruining his chances of winning? Craig in West London. Dr. Pam, what do you reckon?
Oh, Pete's honesty is like, you know, shooting out words like a staple gun. Now, what I say as a psychologist, when we go out and we talk to people, we socialize and we use social lies to help us socialize, i.e. we say nice things. Your girlfriend, bit chubby and lovable, she says to you, I've got slimming trousers on, and you go, yes, darling, you look so slim, when you're thinking, my gosh, you've got a bigger bum than I thought. You know, we use those little social lies to smooth things over, and he cannot do social lies.
Does that mean, does it not? Does it mean, therefore, that he's going to win or not? Is there any chance of him winning?
No, I'll tell you what happens, Dermot, with people like that. For a few days, it's quite disarming. People think, wow, how refreshing. It then gets very grating, because we all like to be made to feel better when we're socializing. We love those social lies that people tell us that you're looking great today, or, you know, all that sort of stuff. When we know we're looking really rough or something. So if he doesn't start doing a bit of the social lying, it's going to continue to be fireworks.
Thank you, Dr. Pam. We have had an email from Dominique from Derby. I thought Maggot was going to be the comedian of the house. What has happened to him, what has. Alex, any thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, I'm surprised as well, because like we were saying, gold-looking chain, funny band, and yet the moment when he was in the diary room and he'd been supposedly learning Japanese all night, and then Brother was talking to him in Japanese, he just seemed gobsmacked that he was being asked these questions. It wasn't like, oh, let me have a go at this then. Right. It was really like,
He's got a reserved personality, though. When you think about it, actually, he can be in a band, but he's still got that kind of quiet reserve about him. And he's a bit of an analyzer, too, so he's sat back and taken this sort of second seat.
Do you think this is a positive experience for Maggot in the long run?
Oh, I think in the long run, yes. Particularly when Rula was mothering him and giving him a big hug when he was all tearful. I think he felt, he connected with someone.
Oh, wonderful stuff, Dr. Pam. OK, Neil is from Ipswich and he is on the line now. Hello, young man.
Hello, Dermot. How's it going?
Oh, not bad at all. Neil, what's your question?
Good morning, Doctor. I was wondering, do you think that George really likes Pete, or is he keeping his friends close and his enemies closer?
Does George really like Pete? Was that the question?
Repeat the question, sorry?
Yeah, does George really like Pete, do you think? Or is he keeping his friends close and his enemies closer?
Oh, I think you're absolutely right. George is playing a very shrewd game, and I don't think, when you look at their body language together, George is actually a bit freaked out by Pete in some ways. And he's had to accept that Pete is very, very different than he is. But at the same time, he won't let that show too much as far as possible, particularly after he knows he went over the top with Jodie Marsh. So he's not going to go over the top with anyone else.
You never see that. It's the weirdest sight, seeing them coming out of a bathroom together with Pete Burns going, thanks, George.
Absolutely. That's pretty much all we've got time for today. Thank you very much to our guests, everyone. Tomorrow's Ask Sleep, we were going to be asking a sleep expert about the housemate's nocturnal habits. Check out the website for details. Thanks a lot to our guests. The Who, by the way, are going to be played into the house. We'll see you in Morning Glory. You take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.